happy birthday is one that seems to fill music. I don't pay a license fee.
All right.
Yeah, you're ready.
Okay. You're on.
Much?
I might be.
Whoops.
I just been dragging my feet on it.
Yeah, my nephew's good. My nephew would be helpful.
Good evening. My name is Tracy Guilford, Chairperson of the Cable TV Advisory Board. It is Thursday, March 24th, and it is 6:30, and we are opening our meeting. I'm going to ask the other committee members to just introduce themselves for the television audience at home.
J.R. McComsky, 27 Broad Street, Groveland.
Beth Rose, Salem Street, Groveland.
Ed Watson, liaison from the Board of Selectmen.
Our first agenda item is approval of minutes. For the people at home, the Board of Selectmen have requested all boards and committees have their minutes approved, and they are putting them up on the internet for people to look at. Just want to let people know our previous chairperson used to also take the minutes, and as such, were not always given to us in written form. We have not always approved our minutes at every meeting since that time, so we're going to be approving minutes from the meetings that we could locate and turn over to Cassandra for posting on the internet. So I wanted to go over first the November 27th, 2013. The only thing I saw at that meeting that needed to be taken care of on bullet number 3 was Chris's last name was misspelt.
And that's been corrected.
So we need that corrected. I didn't have any issues on the April 7th, 2014, or the June 30th, 2014. On the June 25th, 2015, I had a correction on page 2, near the bottom, when no other program on Channel 9 on Board of Selectmen nights, so that we wouldn't preempt anything. And we had 2 adjournment times, so we needed one of the adjournment times taken away so that it would be correct for release.
And that also has been corrected.
All right, just want to, did you see anything else, Beth, in there that you, the only other thing, on June 30th, 2014, TL has been using his own versus his own equipment up to now. That was the only other correction.
Okay, and that
So
should
that
have been CL.
Yeah, who's TL?
CL,
Right.
yeah, and
So I
TL
corrected both.
needs to be changed to
Right.
CL.
We don't have a
All right.
TL anymore. I know we did have one.
All right, with all those amendments, can I have a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
Motion.
Okay. Second,
Second,
and then I know Ed's gonna
I'll
abstain
abstain.
because he wasn't
He
at
wasn't,
any of those
yeah.
meetings. All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Okay, unanimous.
One abstention.
One abstention. Second action item, the Board of Selectmen had asked us to develop a job description for Chris. And one of the things I did, I don't think we'll discuss this a lot tonight. I gave people, I asked Chris first to write a job description, what he felt was his job description. I did come across what I believe was one that we had discussed, but I can't remember. And then I also contacted Havel Community Television and downloaded, they emailed me a few of their job descriptions, which I included in your packet, marked number 2. And I'm gonna ask all the committee members to take it home.
Do you
so
have
that
an electronic copy of this?
That, yes,
Can you send all these
Yes.
in electronic copies to everybody?
yes. Well, you prefer electronic, I know Ed prefers paper.
Okay.
So
I
just,
can have paper.
yeah. All right, so I'm gonna ask people to read through so that next month we can have a discussion about where we
Is
wanna
this the
proceed
original
with this.
job posting from us, director?
I don't think it was the original, but it was, I'm not sure, to tell you the truth.
So do we have a position title that we're going for?
Well, that'll
That's-
be up for discussion too,
Okay.
you know, job description and job title, okay? So,
Did we get a chance to go look at the, some of the advisory boards that they have regarding like the television engineers, Society of Cable Television Engineers, SCTE and all that stuff?
no,
You might wanna look at some of that stuff, they may have some of
Okay.
this on there as well.
okay. But
May
that's
wanna
what I
get,
got.
maybe wanna get Chris a membership to that as well. There's a membership to become part of that group, SCTE, Society of Cable Television Engineers.org.
What is that again?
It's www.scte.org. It's the Society of Cable Television Engineers.
Okay. Well, if we can have information on that as far as the cost and such. All right, so next month, we will have an extended discussion on that. Unless, does the board, question to the board, or do one or two people wanna do a subcommittee of this? Do a couple people feel passionate about?
Nope.
Okay,
No, I
then,
think the way we're
then-
doing it is,
okay, just
Fine.
wanted to offer it up.
Yep.
Okay, so we will discuss that in depth next month. Action number 3 is going to be new equipment. Chris had suggested, I just want to read this, sound system improvements proposed for the Bagnell School for town meeting and special town meetings. The existing sound system at the Bagnell School works great, but there weren't enough microphones for our needs. There also isn't a way currently to directly record the audio feed of the PA system. We really need a direct audio output to be able to record it for the television replay sound. Trying to get good sound from the PA speakers in the ceiling is not feasible. The room is too prone to echo with traditional shotgun mics. It is also too impractical to set up another PA when we have a good one in the room, but just need more inputs. This quote includes expanding the current mic system of 4 handheld microphones to 8. It adds the additional processing necessary to do this, as the existing one is maxed out. It also adds an audio output feed from the system which doesn't currently exist. This is the crucial element I need. It also includes a portable audio recorder which will be used to digitally record the audio feed from the PA systems. Expanding the system, we will be capable of having enough microphones, 8 total. For the audience, 2, selectmen 4, moderator 1, and finance 1.
My
So-
only question on this is,
Yep.
when we give this equipment out, some of the stuff that sits there on mounted on the wall with, but wireless or handhelds,
Yep.
who keeps that?
So right now, there's 4 that the school
Chris,
use.
why don't you change the camera
Yeah,
to use, just
sure.
so people at home, and identify yourself, just so people at home know.
So
who you are.
Chris LaCory, so right now, the Bagnell School had an existing system. They put it in themselves, they've got 4 mics. That's what we used back in October, but I didn't have a way to record it, so the quality wasn't that good. But it worked great for inside the room. So what I'd like to do is just double that so that there's enough mics. They had requested 8 last time, we only had 4.
So they're making the request? Who keeps?
I actually, because the Board of Selectmen asked for 8 microphones back in October, about a week before the meeting. So this time around, I'd like to have 8 so that they're happy.
Who's responsible for the mics when they're not being used? Where do they go?
Well, I believe they stay in the cabinet. I mean, what they have there right now isn't our stuff.
Whose stuff is it?
It's the schools. The school put that in.
So is the school responsible for it, and
Yeah.
they accept the mics and all that stuff, and
Right.
they accept responsibility for it?
Right.
Now, do we loan the product? I would do we loan the stuff to them?
Well, that's one issue I want to bring up to this board. You know, I have some concerns. I believe it's prudent to do this because at our last annual town meeting, you know, Chris at the Board of Selectmen's recommendation rented equipment, which he had to lug in, which is unnecessary as far as I'm concerned. But my concern is, twice in the past, we have had equipment there. In the old cafeteria, we had spent money out of town public access funds for the sound system in the old cafeteria, and I gotta admit, I wasn't thinking. When they renovated, all that stuff just disappeared as excess equipment. So I want, if the committee so chooses, and I do support Chris on this, that every piece of equipment that is purchased by the cable account will be identified as such, property of town of Groveland, and that as part of Chris's responsibility on at least a quarterly basis, or whatever this board determines, would identify and do inventory of that, and that we would have a letter signed by the principal of the school acknowledging the fact that certain equipment is owned by the town and can be used by the school, but if the school decides to replace it with something better for whatever reason, that the town would be returned to the town. Because to me, like the old equipment that was in the old cafeteria could have gone up to VZ Park, or it had some life left to it.
Well, I think a better way to do it would be a loan of product agreement. We write up an agreement with the inventory of this, and we have them sign it. Every year, they do hey, it's still here, we're responsible for
Yeah.
the equipment, and that's it. That way, we don't have to send Chris over there every,
Yeah.
4 months
Well,
to do it, but
I
just.
mean, twice a year, you know, I think, you know,
No, but they have to, as part of the loan agreement, they're responsible for it, and then when it's a year agreement, then they have to, at the end of the year, it's signed for. If it's not there, then they're responsible for replacing it.
Yeah, what I'm envisioning is whatever,
camera back on you, please.
whatever we add, you know, the 4 mics that we add, that will have a locked cabinet so that we're the only, because I don't think they ever need 8, you know.
If they don't need it, then yeah, get a lock cabinet.
See, I don't have a
And
problem with them
I don't
using
know,
it.
I don't know this, you know, technical status of, I tried to find out with their facilities director, who exactly put that in. Was it us? Was it them? I'm pretty sure it was them.
It was
but-
them when they did the new cafeteria and
Yeah.
gymnasium.
So the existing 4, those are theirs, but they let us use those for the town meeting, and then, you know, these other 4 would just be ours, you know, is the way I'm,
All right, I mean, if that's the case, then you'll put them in a lock cabinet, they're yours, and it'll be a cable TV board's responsibility. If you wanna loan it to the school if they need it, then that's what I would do.
Okay, any other discussion, Beth, Ed?
No.
Because I know we do want quality sound for the town meeting and special town meeting at the Bagnell, so I think it's something. I just want accountability for the equipment.
Oh, definitely, if it's coming from our
What's our
budget.
budget right now? What do we have in funds and?
I don't know, I'm sure we have that. I'll talk to Denise, and I'll make sure on a monthly basis when we meet, we have an update on what we have in the account, but I'm sure we have enough to cover that. I'll speak with Denise.
Well, Tracy, the audio was much better at the special town meeting that was held, I think it was in October, than the audio that was at the annual town meeting, which was embarrassing.
Right.
It was
yeah.
awful.
I wasn't involved in that, so I can't speak to it, but I tried to make improvements where necessary, but I think we could make a lot of improvements. It is difficult for me because I also work for Merrimack, and both towns have their town meeting usually on the same night.
Yep.
So it is tricky for me to be in 2 places at once, but I believe that, you know, if we were to put this in and set it up, it'll be pretty straightforward, and we can get this
I
much
just have
better.
one point of information. When I was going over the thing, over the items, and it seems to be, you know, to me, and you can enlighten me, but, you know, very heavy on, you know, system design and engineering, $810, drafting and documentation, $520, and then general, what was the other? project management and site coordination, 360. And then, was there an installation charge too? I can't, you know, on-site installation and testing, $1,400. So, you know, so that's.
The services are heavy.
Yeah.
That's, to me, sounds, you know, for that amount of money, that small of a project,
You shouldn't see a 50% ratio of hardware and software to the professional services.
I mean, that's.
I can ask them to take a look at that, see if they can lower it
Just
for
say,
us,
what-
because we've
what-
done a
what are
lot
they
for
really-
them.
What are they designing?
Yeah.
I mean, you're plugging in a output, going into a few speakers, I mean,
I believe the way they explained it to me today, because I had a conversation with one of their engineers today, just to make sure we were all on the same
Swap the camera
page.
back to you, please.
And what they're going to do, because there's an existing system there, they're going to engineer an output from it that doesn't currently exist, at least to my understanding. And so they're going to feed that into the second system that they put in for us of the other 4 mics, so that all 8 inputs can be recorded. I agree with you that it's a little
I
steep.
would talk with them, or the documentation, I mean.
Yeah.
And always, if we're getting documentation, you want it in digital format, not just written format. You want the master copies, so.
Yep.
Make sure that we're getting, if they're doing it in Visio or anything like that, we're getting the source file, not a PDF version, so that we can't make edits to it for the future.
Yep.
Yeah, so, and again, I don't understand project management and site coordination, you know, is a separate charge from installation. I just find that really, really confusing. When you look
They
at.
try, most companies now will try to put project management in here as another installation to manage their resources. You shouldn't need project, it should be a strictly site installation.
Not as a small project like this.
I agree.
I mean, I could see if it was from scratch, and I think,
Is this the same company that did this stuff here?
Yeah.
No, I think you should be able to get down well, here's what I would do.
Yep.
Tell them right now you're at 1,400 for installation, and there's some other stuff here. You're getting 3,000. I would say you have a $1,700 budget with them, and see if you can get them to go forward with the project. Just tell them the budget committee will only approve $1,700.
what, for those 4 bullet items?
Yeah. They can break up that $1,700 however they want to. This is a negotiation tactic. And if they push back, then say we're gonna get another bid.
You're talking on the whole thing? Or?
No,
just the
just
professional.
on the 4 bullet items, the
Okay.
number 1, the number 2, the number 5,
The whole.
and the number
Professional
8.
services section.
Yeah.
So the bottom thing, and what you should tell him, if you're negotiating this, say, in aggregate, you have $4,000. You know what I mean, 5,000. So you can say you can reduce the product price if you want, you can reduce this, but tell them you have $5,000 from budget, and see if you can knock $1,400 off this.
Okay.
From a board standpoint, can we just approve this price, and if we can get it lower?
Yeah,
And move forward, as
I-
opposed to bringing it up at another meeting?
Right.
Yeah.
But if he comes back with a counteroffer, then we'll have to meet specifically for that. Just a quick 10-minute meeting.
Well, if we approve the $6,400 budget to move forward with it, and he comes in underneath that, do we need to have a board meeting to do that?
No.
So let's just approve the
Say-
$6,400
Yeah, as a maximum.
as a
anything
maximum,
less.
and
Okay.
then he can negotiate it down.
Okay, then that's fine.
Great.
Well, then then I would say we would make a motion that 6,000 would be the limit, and then he can negotiate under.
Sure, that's fine with me. I make a motion, 6,000 for approved budget?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Will this be ready for the upcoming town meeting?
That'll
That
be-
is what I am aiming for,
Okay.
so.
So
And
you understand what's going on with it?
Right.
All right. Try to get 5,000 if you can, if you need to go up to 6, you can. The budget's been approved for 6.
Yeah,
Try to
I'll see what I
negotiate.
can do. I'll highlight the fact that we've given them quite a bit of
Business.
I would
business.
say
Yeah.
we've given them business, tell them you don't care if it's in professional services or in the product, so they can discount some of this product if they want.
Or we just think the professional
Services is a bit high for this.
services, yeah, for such a small project.
This is no work for them.
Yeah.
All right.
Is
Everyone
there an
else,
alternative?
excuse me?
If that's not on board by the town meeting, is there an alternative, ready to go?
A second source?
Yeah.
We can always go get a second source.
Yeah,
This isn't proprietary information, so.
right. There are other vendors out there,
When are you
so
gonna
some,
talk to when are you talking to them?
I can talk to them tomorrow.
Talk to them tomorrow, send an email out to the company, to the board.
Yeah.
If we need to, then we'll tell you to go get a second source. I don't think we'll need it. I think they'll work with you.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I've already had them look at it 2 or 3 times, so I think they'd probably be
Just
in
tell
the
them it's
best
out of
shape.
your hands.
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
what
I
the
will.
board approves.
Yeah.
okay.
Where are they located?
Well, they have an office in Waltham. I think they're headquartered in Connecticut.
So you believe that they are the best vendor for this product?
In terms of doing the audio video installation and stuff, yeah, I mean, I've worked with them probably 7, 8 times.
These are the guys we hired to do the
Right,
which
they-
we all had to look at. And
they
we
did.
looked at all the proposals for them, and they definitely had the highest quality, so.
Right.
Okay.
And
you-
I've found also that, if they overlook anything or if, there's an issue,
They come back.
there's no questions asked, they're back on site, as soon as possible. And, they've worked with me to fix things fairly quickly.
Since you're in Merrimack, does Merrimack use this vendor?
We have, yeah. Yeah, we're doing a bigger upgrade of our meeting room with them.
Well, they did a whole bunch of a couple other places. That's why I think we selected them when we looked
Yeah.
at them.
Okay, so, okay, that,
Question?
yes.
You need to go out to bid?
Does this need to go out
I
to bid?
believe it's
or are they on the state?
20,000 or
Yeah, I think it's below the standard, what the
Yeah.
GSA for.
right.
I will contact Denise tomorrow.
I don't
Yes.
believe it does at this amount.
Excuse me?
I don't believe it does with this
Okay.
amount, but
I don't think so either.
double check.
Okay, everyone ready to move on to the next
Yep.
item? All right, next item is update on recent outage. So Chris, can you give us a
Sure.
update, please?
So, March 8th, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, March 8th, we had a outage for about a day. The plant at the Comcast plant, the demodulator over there froze. I put in a call about it Tuesday morning. They had it back up and running about noon on Wednesday. So I logged that. I have the ticket number. Their tech reset it. It wasn't anything from our side of things. Every now and then, those modulators and demodulators freeze down at their plant, and you need to get the right guy to go reset it.
So what, with our Comcast contract, I've never seen it. Do we have a service level agreement with them and how fast they have to, or a notification, or restoration, or availability?
They have a 24/7 excellence operations center hotline. So whenever there's a technical issue on their end, I call into that. They have to get a tech on it, assign it, and have someone go deal with it. I don't have a way of speeding that up, but usually I call them multiple times if they don't. So usually they're pretty good about taking care of it, but they don't staff the plant over the weekend, which is why if something happens over the weekend, I can't do a thing about it.
That should be something we bring up during the,
Yeah, during the
Contract
negotiations.
negotiations. We should make sure that it's called an SLA, service level agreement.
Yeah.
And how we put it in, and it's basically a framework of how they're supposed to respond to any type of outage, what the restore times are, what the reliability level they're supposed to meet, and stuff like that. So we just take a look at it when we get there.
One of the things I would ask for, Chris, for our next meeting is a one-page thing documenting the date of the outage, the people you talked to and the time that it was restored, because, again, even though we're a few years away from our contract renegotiation,
Yeah.
just in case any of the people here on the board are not on the board at that time, I want to pass on to the board members, we want to have a track record of, we don't want to forget this, and, you know, I know every time just before a contract, they work really hard to make sure everything's running perfectly, so they can say everything's running perfectly, but I want to document not only when the outage is Comcast's fault, but when an outage is one of our faults, I
Yeah,
also.
I've been doing that, and
want
I've got a
to-
lot going back, I think, 2 years now.
Right, but starting from this point on, starting with this case, I want, you know, a one-page, and again, document the time, I want to
Well, it's documented in the
document.
call track, right?
Yeah.
You have a call track to
I
Comcast.
have a ticket number, yeah.
Ticket number,
Yeah.
you could probably call Comcast and get all the ticket numbers.
Right,
Right.
that's actually what I was gonna do.
You know, and ideally, keep track of who you talk to, and then when the issue is resolved, and I would like a one-page report, or just a couple of paragraphs. And
Okay.
again, just so we can keep a track record. Yes, Ed?
I'd like to see that handed over to the chairman on a monthly basis.
Mm-hmm.
And the chairman can put it in the files. Not, you know, sometimes the meetings here aren't on a regular basis.
Right.
So I'd like to see that, what you're talking about, instead of at the next meeting, I'd like to see it handed over to the chairman of the Cable TV Committee on a monthly basis, and then the chairman can put it in the files. As you said, when it comes up to contract time, if nobody here is on the board anymore, then that information will be on file.
Okay. Anyone else have any, Chris, do you have anything to add to that?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Gonna go on to our next.
Sometimes we do, you know, we do have months where sometimes nothing goes wrong, so,
Ideally, that's what we want.
yep.
Report that as well.
Well, there's nothing wrong with no outages this month.
Right.
Et cetera. Just to keep a handle on it.
Yep.
All right, next agenda item is old business. Under old business, one of the things I could, as I was going through paperwork, I could not remember, if you look at number 5, we had been working, when Ken was our chairperson, had been working with our attorney on a member policies and procedure. I did a printout for everyone, and again, rather than go in-depth tonight, I would like everyone to take this home and read it, because I don't want, and with the board's permission, I would like to contact the attorney. I don't believe we ever finished this and have ever adopted it, so I would like the board to read it and decide whether or not we want to proceed. Or actually, before I contact the attorney, I would like everyone to have a month to read this. We'll discuss it at the next month as to whether we want to implement this.
All right, can I get the electronic copy, so we turn the edits on if we wanna make any edits?
Yep, absolutely. Okay, everyone okay with that for right now?
Yeah.
Second thing I wanted to talk about is I was reading through the older minutes. We had once talked about rotating the position of chair. I just want to put that out there. If I am more than happy to continue service, but I did not want to, monopolize the chairperson's position since I've been there. If it's the consensus of the board that they want me to continue in the position, I am happy to. If somebody else wants
Elizabeth, do you
to.
want it?
I don't want it.
I don't want it.
We're happy to have you, Tracy.
I will continue
You're
if
good.
it's the consensus of the board that they want me to continue.
Yes, and I have other reasons.
Okay. Here's other not that I'm good at what I'm doing, okay, well.
What are the reasons?
You know, being the chairman of the board, it takes a while to learn the position.
Yeah, and Ed just came in recently, so.
I just can't see,
Yeah.
A revolving door every year, and then somebody new's gotta learn it.
Learn it.
I think just, it's working well, and just keep it the way it is. Somebody else
Okay.
takes over,
That's fine.
it's gonna be a learning curve, and then they're out and somebody else is in.
Like I say, I just didn't want to monopolize it if somebody else, because one of the things to be a true leader, you also have to follow at times and give other people opportunity to put out their vision of where the organization should be going. And I want people to know I respect and their opinions.
No, that was just my other reasons. And
Okay.
You looked a little worried when I said I had other reasons, and so did Beth. But that's all, I just think.
All right.
No, I think you do that anyway as chair.
I think you do a great job.
Yeah.
I would, guys, if
Don't
I was
fix
chair,
it,
I
it's
would
not
have printed
broken.
this out for you guys.
Yeah. All right, then I will continue.
Thank you.
Another thing is I was going through the older minutes, and I don't believe we ever did. And I believe if I remember right, it was one of your suggestions, a mission statement.
Yep.
I think we need to work on that as to what our purpose is. And maybe over the next couple of weeks, if people want to look at what other public access have for mission statements, or if they do, and then come back with ideas on what our mission statement should be.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing I wanted for Chris, Chris, you know, one of the things we had discussed, and I would like an update on, is we had put all that equipment in the fire station meeting room, and at one of our previous meetings, and I can't remember how long ago, we had asked if it had ever been used. Are you aware, has that equipment been used to date for any meetings?
You're talking about the fire station.
The fire station meeting room equipment, the
Right.
equipment that was gonna go into the old selectman room,
selectman
but
room,
because
yeah.
they decided to use that for storage, we put it over there in the fire station meeting room so that other boards and committees were going to meet there.
Right.
And to my knowledge, that has never happened.
I know other groups have met there, but they haven't recorded it or televised it.
What groups have met there?
I would have to find that out from Denise, but I've seen meeting postings where
Okay.
there have been, to my knowledge, I could be wrong, but
Okay.
I think I've seen a couple postings of,
I'm gonna ask for an
there, so.
update at.
it
at
is
our-
ready to go.
Is it
you
just
know.
an education thing that those other boards don't know that they can actually use that?
I don't know. I don't know. I would have to know which boards and committees meet there, because to my knowledge, no one else was meeting there, other than the fire department.
Okay.
So.
What's in there, like a mixer and?
No, we have a,
We have a
a
duplicate of
four-camera, configuration of this meeting room, basically. It's an additional system. We had, back before we turned the, selectmen's room into storage, there was another meeting room set up in there. So instead of eliminating one of the two meeting rooms, it was proposed that we create, we move everything that we had over there to another location, and that other location was determined to be the fire station over there. So I think the purpose was in case, we ever had two meetings going on at the same time that both wanted to be recorded. Not both could be televised, but
It's on the edge use case, so
yeah.
do we have another place that we want to put it?
Well, I don't know. I just, can I propose after we adjourn here that we just take a walk over, because I'd like the committee to see the equipment. And whether or not, it's funny, although the old Board of Selectmen meeting room was taken over for half storage, they left a conference table in there, and sometimes they do meetings in there for like Finance Committee, because Charlie will take in the portable camera. So my feeling is if we find out that no one is really using that equipment over there, to approach the Board of Selectmen, if that's being used half storage and half meetings, to maybe move the equipment over there.
Moving the equipment has a cost associated with it.
Why
I
not
know.
just meet over
Why
there?
don't we just educate everybody and tell them,
That's
don't meet
available.
here, have it come down from the
Yeah.
board,
Yeah.
and say all secondary meetings have to go over there.
Yeah.
I think that's a better approach.
Okay.
I agree.
Like I say, just,
I don't like to create work,
no,
you know.
no, but I like to see.
It's being used,
see equipment being used versus, again, the best of my knowledge, that equipment over there has sat.
I did actually use it myself for the, when we did the Veterans Day thing inside.
Okay,
So we did go live from there once.
okay, so, that's,
yeah, but I think that's just an email to all the boards, coming from somebody on
Well-
the committee saying, listen, we appreciate it, we put the equipment over here, this is deemed the secondary meeting room. Please use it appropriately.
yeah, it's something we
Yeah.
can address with the Board of Selectmen and see how they want to proceed, because we are an advisory board and work for the Board of Selectmen, yeah, as well as the townspeople, but I just like to see equipment used. Let's see, I think that concludes old business. Does anyone on the board want to bring up anything that they believe would be covered under old business?
Not me.
Ed,
No.
John?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Under 6, new business, one of the things I would like to propose, and again, I'm not asking for a vote tonight, I would like people to read, number 6, is I would like to propose membership in Mass Access. And what Mass Access does, it serves and supports local access cable TV stations across Massachusetts. It has educational workshops throughout the state on many topics. Educational workshop topics include cable refranchising, which would be important, copyright issues, and one of the things that I learned before Groveland and Georgetown separated and did their own cable, Groveland, Georgetown had a combined public access, and I attended some of these workshops, and I gotta say, on copyright issues, I learned a lot, because I used to go up to Pentucket and videotape the plays put on television, and I went to one of these meetings, and I was just talking with somebody in general during one of the breaks, oh, it was fun videotaping a high school play to put on television, and they said, what are you thinking? That's copywritten, you can get sued on that. Your school will be blackballed and will never be able to, for a period of 3 to 7 years, and that won't be able to have plays. And so I immediately stopped, but if it hadn't been for that educational workshop, I would not have known. I think it's something.
I think I think the board runs blind not having this type of information.
Right, but I want everyone to read this, go
Is there a-
online
is
to
there a-
look at
Is there
it.
a cost associated with it?
Yes,
What's the cost
there
for the
is.
access?
I'm gonna have to look.
Oh, that's it?
It'd be like 100 to 200 a year.
I've been a member of it for
Yeah.
NERMAC
Yeah.
in the past, and it's been.
Do they have educational and training stuff for you as well?
Yeah.
So is
They
it per
do.
person, or is it,
You can
per
do
town?
per person, in our case, because we're a municipality, I think we ought to do the town.
I would rather
because-
do the town, yeah, no.
Because-
Because you get a certain number of people associated with the town.
Right.
Because one of the things I think that we don't service Chris enough with is giving him proper training.
Training,
And
yeah.
what that could do is help him.
Continuing education.
What we look at here is when we look at these professional services costs, he might be able to do some of these. I mean, engineering some of this stuff is pretty basic technology. You could easily go in there and, split some cables up and do it.
So
Which
that's
may
why.
Which would be a better investment, I think, of the board,
Right.
investing in the people as opposed to
Right.
giving it out.
So, I will put this on an action item for next month so people can read, because like I say, even though I believe in it, I don't want to pressure the other board members to vote on it until they feel comfortable.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds like something we should really consider.
I think it's a protection issue.
Well, like I say, I just found it and the other really neat thing is this organization advocates for the municipalities. One of the things found out, whether Comcast or the other cable operators would prefer all the public cable accesses to
Gone.
just gone.
No, you guys are a
Because
waste of
it
bandwidth.
increases their bottom line, even though they pass through most of the cost, it just, they
It's
would.
not, it's not a
prefer-
cost issue with them, it's a spectrum issue.
Right.
And to do analog TV,
Mm-hmm.
which is necessary to do a PEG, is a lot of bandwidth that's wasted
Yeah.
in there. So you're not just costing them money, you're costing them available
Yeah.
bandwidth.
Yeah.
So I don't even know why you would wanna wait, I'd say just approve it now, if it's that
Yeah.
cheap, go for it and then get the information immediately.
What is the other board? Would you prefer to wait a month or, like I say, I do not mind either way, but I just don't feel, if other people are not totally comfortable and would like to read a little more, I have no problem with waiting a month since we've been so many years without this.
Well, just from the quick overview and what you've both said, I wouldn't have a problem right now, because I would
I'd rather,
welcome some of
I'm
the
a big fan
education.
of getting things done, like, I mean,
Yeah.
I hear the month, but
Yeah.
I think this is definitely, any type of combined community that's talking about this type of environment,
Yeah.
especially when you're looking at it from a town perspective or a municipality, they're gonna have our best interests, and a municipality would be stronger combined with everybody else than alone, and I think we could definitely benefit from the education alone.
Okay.
It looks like cheap money, why wait?
Okay.
Go for it.
Well, so will the board?
I'll make a motion to proceed forward with this.
Okay,
Second?
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right, unanimous. We will join.
It looks like it's only gonna be $100 a year.
I think it's 150. It's based on, for towns and cities,
on the
it's
back.
based, oh, okay. I couldn't remember if I had looked really quick online. Yeah, and it would, yeah, I think ours is, I'm gonna have to ask Denise how much we get per year, because it's based on, oh, yeah, it's based on our annual budget.
Okay.
All right. All right, I will coordinate that with Denise then.
Perfect.
Does anyone else have anything that they would like to put on our agenda for next month for new business?
I do not.
Okay. Anything?
No, nope.
Ed, anything you
Uh,
can think of?
No, but I got a new business, but not for the
Okay.
agenda.
Okay,
Just two items.
yep, sure.
I'll wait to get done with that.
Yeah, I am done with
That was it, right? That was,
my items, so you're
Yeah,
welcome to
Yeah,
go.
I'd like to see some kind of a printout of the local access hours on how many hours of program we have on the TV.
Weekly, monthly,
What do you think, monthly?
monthly?
Don't they look at, in the contract time, they wanna look at
Yeah.
how many
the
hours that you've had,
Yeah.
and I think, along with the outages on a monthly basis, why couldn't we get the local access hours?
Yeah,
And,
I think Chris said he can do that, so it's easy.
and I don't know if you're gonna need, it's up to everybody else.
Yeah.
Do you wanna do hours of live broadcast and separately from hours of
rebroadcast?
rebroadcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That would just be the total of all the meetings, because they're recorded time, they are live, so.
Right, but, what I would like to see, going on his idea is monthly and on a day, like today, I would like to see the listing, cable TV board and any other board that was recorded on this date and the time, as the live broadcast.
Yeah.
And then, the number on a second sheet, it would be playback, number of hours playback that was accomplished during that month.
Is hours the right metric to use, though? Or would it be?
Yes, because it's, I believe, and I'm gonna have to read our contract, that we are supposed to hit a number of hours per week in playback.
I've
And-
looked into that, I can't say definitively what is in there, but I can almost guarantee you that we far exceed that. But
Yep.
I'll go back to
Yep.
that, I'll find that out, and I can compile this, no problem.
Okay. Well, and that was one of the things, as I was reading online, Mass Access, they provide some programming that we can download for playback on our system.
Excellent, some more content, the better.
You know, and again, you know, we can look at certain things and say, this particular subject has relevance in our community,
Well, I'm
download
assuming
it.
it's state, like some
Yeah.
sort of statewide
Yeah.
type of, yeah, no, I think that's.
Yeah,
great.
you can buy certain stuff for download. I think they charge you for the bandwidth, like $1 a show or whatever.
And
But
that's,
I've done
you know,
it in
we can do a
elsewhere. I mean,
budget.
we've had a pretty full schedule for the most part.
Right.
But yeah, it's certainly something.
But if we
do.
can look at what they offer and say, you know, this particular item.
People might
No,
want
we
to
just have
watch
a
this.
content
yeah.
approval process
Right.
at the meeting and say, this is the, if you get an à la carte menu list of, we can go through and say, yep, relevant, and then, yeah, no, I wouldn't mind enhancing our content.
Okay. And did you have another item?
Yeah, well, actually, the other item probably wouldn't be new business, but just comment.
Okay.
It is nice to see Pentucket School Committee and Whittier School Committee added to the programming. And we've had some positive comments on that. Although, I don't know how often they're on. Somebody the other day just said they hadn't seen Pentucket and wanted to know why it couldn't be added, and I said it had been a short time ago, and it has been on.
Yeah, I've been usually running them about 3 times a day once I get them. There have been issues in the past with them actually giving me the file, so there has been a lot of either like delay time or whatever, but it's getting better. They're giving me better files. Some of the files they give me have been overdriving our system a little bit. So one of the things that I was talking with the video teacher, the new video teacher who's doing the school committee meetings, is maybe exploring the possibility of getting all 3 towns in the district to collaborate on getting them like, you know, a piece of like a video switcher or something that can record it in a better file type than the cameras that
What are
they
they
have.
getting?
Huh?
What are they getting from a file type, do you know?
He's taking it out of whatever low-end camera they have and running it through iMovie and giving me like a 7 gig master file right now. That's significantly improved from me ripping it off the internet, which was non-existent to bad. But what I would envision and what I'd like to see us push for and eventually implement is getting them some kind of multi-camera switcher that they can record to and give me a standardized file just like Whittier does. I never have any problems with what Whittier gives me. And that way, they have said that it takes them a really long time to upload a file that large through their internet, and then it takes me time converting that back down to something that we can play, and so it's not as efficient as I'd like it to be. So I think we could significantly improve that.
So who do you get this from, the audio-visual guy at Pentucket?
Yeah, so right now it's Dave Schumacher at Pentucket. I'm not sure the name of the guy at Whittier, but the guy at Whittier gets it to me.
Is this a school project, or is this a?
It's the school committee meetings. They assign someone to record them internally in their school system. I don't know, you know, sometimes that changes. It used to be someone else who, you know, like I said, I was never getting it on time, so, but now I am.
They can't just give you the SD card or something like that you can then take and then encode the right way or transcode the right way?
There've been problems with that. I mean, they don't like giving out those kinds of things, you know.
Well,
they're
maybe we
using-
buy them an SD card and ask them to
So right
record
down
on
here,
our
I mean-
SD card, and then they can download it for their use and give us the SD card.
Yeah, I mean,
Handling the physical medium is a little tougher because you have to arrange to pick it up.
right.
Yeah, but I'm up to Pentucket a lot. So,
They had asked me, and I can forward you guys this email. They had asked me if the possibility existed to maybe get all 3 towns in the district on board and share the cost of, like a low-end video switcher that could record it in a file type all three towns can play back very reasonably and easily.
Are all three towns compatible on the file type?
I believe so. I need to talk with West Newbury, but I'm pretty sure we could get there, you know.
The software, it's.
I'm pretty sure, you know, and I've looked into it a little bit. If we were to invest in like a NewTek Mini or something, that would be able to record a compliant MPEG or MP4 or whatever West Newbury wants. And then they'd be able to do multi-camera and have a little bit better audio, because the audio that they're using is iffy. And so I think we could do it reasonably, and I think if we could get all three towns
If
on
all
board, I
three
think we could.
towns are willing to split the cost, you know, I think, you know, and again,
Falls within the purview of
right,
of what this.
if
could
we're
afford.
giving better quality too, and all three
Yeah.
towns are going to support the project. So I'd ask you before our next meeting to see if that is in fact something the three towns want to commit to. You can tell Merrimack and West Newbury, Groveland is interested.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak for Merrimack. They will do it if all three towns split it, so.
Right. And what do you anticipate the ballpark cost?
Well, I think for just a switcher, we're looking at between 5,000 and 10,000. I don't know if I'm probably sure that they can use the cameras that they already have, but I don't want to make that assumption. I mean, it might be better to get them like just one decent camera, because I know their cameras take a lot of abuse from students and whatnot, so I'll do more research on that. But I think we could do it for about $10,000, maybe half that. It
So what
really
you
depends
mean
if they.
10,000 per community or
No,
10,000?
No, total.
Okay.
You know, maybe let's say 10 to 12.
Yep.
You know, it depends if we include cameras in that or not. But
Okay.
and it also depends. You know, if they think a HDMI setup is a little bit easier because HDMI cameras tend to be cheaper, that might cut it in half. Or if they need it to be SDI, you know, that might be a little pricier. But I think we could get it done reasonably. So.
So if you can get us that information, see
Sure.
if we can coordinate that over the next month, and we'll discuss it.
I'd like to see an
in
HD,
April.
8K, maybe 4K capable camera if you possibly could. 3D enabled.
I can tell you it'll be HD.
All right, does anyone else have anything else they would like to bring up?
Yeah.
Ed? Yep.
And the job descriptions, can we grab some job descriptions from Merrimack, West Newbury, and Georgetown? See if we can grab some of that. And if the committee members can get that, I don't know if you're gonna try to reach out to them, Tracy?
Yeah. Well,
And-
Chris, do you have access to, do you have a job description over at Merrimack?
I do, yeah.
Is it pretty much what you gave?
It's similar and a little bit different. I'm technically the technical director over there. But, yeah,
Is that what the title is, the technical director?
over there it is, yeah.
There's somebody else who is like the head?
There's somebody else that does the sort of interacting with the departments and whatnot. So she's kind of like a volunteer and,
Can we get that job description?
Yeah.
Your job description, from Merrimack then?
sure.
Okay, because
Just,
that,
see if we can get the other two, West Newbury and Georgetown, and as soon as you can get that to Tracy, if you can get it out to the committee members so that maybe we can address it, get on the agenda for the next meeting and go over some of those, and move this thing forward as
Yep.
soon as we can.
yep. Okay.
With the job description, what's the intent? Just figuring out what the position holds in the right?
What we want them to do,
All right.
yeah. Yeah, that-
Duties, responsibilities.
Yeah.
I don't like the hours.
And then, the only other thing I'd add to new business is eventually we want to touch base or encourage our townspeople to speak with us to see what they want to see for improvements, because it's not just our vision of where public access is going, it's, you know, the town people involvement, what they would like to see too.
An excellent point, maybe some sort of a questionnaire.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get it on the town website, and if they have any suggestions, any comments.
Yep.
And even comments about the audio at some of the meetings, and is it okay for them? And just to get some feedback on that.
And then I don't know if we want to, since we're gonna meet more often, whether we want to do like the Board of Selectmen does and have like maybe a 5-minute public comment, so that if somebody does come in and wishes to address the board, would we allow that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't see why not.
Well, again, I want consensus from the
Sure.
board. I don't have a
Does the town people
problem
wanna talk about what's going on?
with people speaking.
I think it's a great idea.
Okay, so we'll have that. Okay. Anything else?
And the same thing, if remember the public out there in the town, if they have something to put on the agenda to,
To contact me?
yeah. I
Yeah,
think,
or
I
any of
think
the
the
other
cable has a
members.
box out here by the
Yeah.
treasurer's office, they can drop a note in there.
Yeah.
Get on the agenda and come and speak
speak.
about it, sure.
Do we have a town email box?
No, I don't, not for cable television, I believe. You know, I should contact Denise and,
Just get access to that?
um,
I mean, most people send emails these days,
right?
so, I think, at least I know I haven't written a true letter in years,
You're lucky.
so, everything I do is online.
Yeah.
So, just get a general box
Right.
at cable TV at GrovelandTV.
Actually, I've got grovelandtv@gmail.com,
Okay,
so.
Okay, so then maybe we ought to put up on the television, on the bulletin board section, people with comments for public access can email their comments to you, and then you will make us aware if there's anything
yeah, so
that
you'll have to be
yeah.
responsible to forward it to us if you need anything.
you can forward it to my home
Yep.
email, which you already have,
Perfect,
Yep.
and that way I can share with everyone else.
excellent.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Anything else?
No.
Beth, anything else?
No?
Anything
No, I'm
else? Okay, then that concludes this evening Cable TV Advisory Board meeting. Thank you all.
7:28. Yeah.